a phenomenon known as the Gen Z stare is becoming a significant topic of discussion in the realm of human resources. As the workplace evolves, recruiters are now confronted with a new challenge that can leave them feeling perplexed and uncertain. This steady, expressionless gaze from young candidates during interviews can lead hiring managers to question everything from their interview techniques to their own charisma. Is this look a sign of disinterest, a subtle disdain for the job market, or could it signify something entirely different? In this insightful Q&A, our HR expert Jane Harper delves into the complexities of this issue. Jane draws on psychological insights to explain that the Gen Z stare is not merely a sign of disengagement. Rather, it reflects a desire for authenticity. A concerned reader writes, "Dear Jane, as an HR professional with over 10 years of experience in recruiting, I've recently found myself puzzled by what my colleagues refer to as the Gen Z stare during job interviews. When I inquire about their work history or motivations for applying, these young candidates often respond with a blank, unblinking expression, maintaining eye contact without any visible reaction. Does this indicate a lack of interest, or could it mean something else entirely? How can I interpret this behavior accurately without misjudging their potential, and what changes should I consider making to my interviewing approach?" Misinterpreting the Gen Z stare as indifference can lead to biases that hinder effective recruitment. Jane Harper elaborates on the nature of the Gen Z stare and how to navigate it effectively. The Gen Z stare has transcended mere buzzword status in the workplace. This steady, neutral gaze, often devoid of nods, smiles, or other nonverbal cues, can leave interviewers feeling as though they are conversing with a paused video. But what does the Gen Z stare truly communicate? Psychologists suggest that the Gen Z stare is not an expression of hostility or rudeness. Instead, it serves as a coping mechanism. Growing up in an age characterized by constant digital stimulation, members of Gen Z have developed what can be described as a neutral mode to help them manage their emotions and conserve energy. In the context of an interview, this often translates to a careful consideration of words rather than an outward display of enthusiasm. It resembles a poker face more than anything else. So what does the Gen Z stare convey? At times, it may indicate boredom, especially if accompanied by brief, clipped responses. However, more frequently, it signifies a focused mindset. Candidates might be resisting the urge to fill silence with meaningless chatter, and this difference in nonverbal communication can easily be misinterpreted. How can HR professionals adapt their strategies to better understand the Gen Z stare without misjudging the talent? Overlooking the Gen Z stare as mere apathy could mean missing out on highly capable and innovative individuals. Here are some strategies to help you interpret and respond to this behavior effectively. 1. Seek clarity instead of making assumptions. Don't view the stare as a dead end. Instead, encourage candidates to transform the silence into a meaningful dialogue by asking more structured and thoughtful questions. For example, you might say, "What thoughts are going through your mind right now? Can you explain your thought process to me?" 2. Make questions more direct, not lengthy. Open-ended questions like, "Tell me about yourself," can feel overwhelming to Gen Z candidates. They often respond better to direct and specific inquiries. Consider asking, "Can you describe a time when you solved a problem under pressure?" What aspect of this role excites you the most? 3. Prioritize authenticity over performance. Many Gen Z candidates reject the idea of fake it till you make it. The lack of visible enthusiasm should not be mistaken for a lack of commitment. Instead, focus on the quality of their ideas and problem-solving abilities rather than their proficiency with corporate jargon. 4. Normalize changes in body language. Training for interviews should incorporate an understanding of Gen Z stare psychology. This behavior should not be framed as rudeness, but rather as a generational shift in communication styles. just as emojis and instant messaging transformed communication norms for millennials. Gen Z's approach represents a cultural evolution in the workplace that needs to be embraced. Misinterpreting the Gen Z stare as indifference can lead to biases that hinder effective recruitment. If your goal is to foster a workplace that values authenticity, adaptability must be a key asset you cultivate. This journey begins with you. Don't allow the shifting landscape of work to derail your instincts as a recruiter. If you have HR-related questions, feel free to reach out with the subject line Ask Jane Harper at info@thehrdigest.com. For more exclusive HR news and insights, consider subscribing to the leading human resources magazine and receive updates directly in your inbox.